New at 4, just a little more than an hour ago, North Charleston lost its top cop. Mayor Reggie Burgess announced that Police Chief Ronald Camacho has resigned. Camacho has served as chief since December 2024 and had 30 years of experience in law enforcement. In Burgess's announcement this afternoon, he wished Camacho well and says Assistant Chief Scott Perry will now assume the role of acting police chief of North Charleston. Mayor Burgess held a news conference that wrapped up just a little bit before 3 o'clock. Live 5's Victoria Blair was there for that information, and she just finished talking with the mayor about the change in leadership. Victoria, what reason did Mayor Burgess provide for what happened today?
Mayor Reggie Burgess said that Chief Camacho and the city of North Charleston are not aligning anymore and have decided to part ways. He said that they spoke this morning and said that they need someone more immersed in the community to fill this role. Now Camacho was sworn in 2024 back in December and pushed for transparency within the department. Burgess says the department needs to be held with someone who is invested in the community and understands the city of North Charleston. The mayor stated that he acknowledges that the department has seen some leadership changes over the years and said that this is about providing a better solution for the community moving forward. Now the department will be led by Assistant Chief Scott Perry. According to Mayor Reggie Burgess, he has more than 30 years of service within North Charleston's police department and believes he is someone who is already trusted in the community to fill this role, yet he already had put in his retirement for December.
You're getting a lot of feedback from a lot of incidents that have occurred, and me being in the position that I was in, I knew that what my expectations were, I just need to find that. I really need to find somebody more thoroughly immersed in the community policing initiatives using relationship policing.
Mayor Reggie Burgess says they will continue to prioritize community policing within the department and the community. In North Charleston, Victoria Blair, Live 5 News.
All right, Victoria, thank you. And coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock, our investigative reporter Emily Johnson brings us the first look at some HR complaints made against Camacho and the allegations of gender and race discrimination against the former police chief.